Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. My name's Jason and thanks for watching. Today we're going to be talking about this brand new portable power station that I found on Amazon. Now it's been out there for a little bit, but there aren't many reviews about it and no one really knows about this thing. This is the Bibene or Bibene portable power station. Now this packs lithium iron phosphate cells inside. It's a 4S 48 amp hour battery at about 614 watt hours. Now I made the claim that this is the best budget power station on the market. Now let me say why I believe it is. Okay, this comes in at $150 cheaper than the EB70. It almost packs the same amount of features and power as the EB70. It's priced $50 under the Jackery 500, packs way more life cycles and features than the Jackery 500, and it's super compact. I just love the design. Now, because it's lithium iron phosphate, it comes in at 16.6 pounds. That's a little bit heavy.
Are they heavy?
Yeah.
Then they're expensive. Put them back.
But for the price, you can't beat it. Now, let me just talk about price for a second, because I think you guys are going to be interested once you hear this. So I bought this on Amazon for $407 out the door. There's nothing that comes close to that at 614 watt hours of storage. Like I said, the EB70 comes in at $550. The Jackery 500 with the coupon comes in at $450. This is priced below that. But wait, it gets better. This week, this price dropped. I thought it was cheap then, but this came in at $344. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the front just so you guys can see all the power connections that it has available. Right here, I love this feature. It has an actual percentage of battery remaining. My EB70 doesn't have that. It also gives you an estimated runtime. You can see it's at 99 hours because there's zero load on the battery. It gives you an input and output wattage. It kind of alternates between those two. And it also shows you which ports are currently activated on the screen. Right here you have your power button. You can click and hold this down for 3 seconds to turn it off and on. And right here you have your charging port. This is a 5525 charging port. So this supports 12 to 24 volts and has a max charging rate of 100 watts. Right here you have your DC outputs. You can turn them on and off by pushing the button. These are 5521 barrel connectors. They support 4 amps each. I like this dust cover on the 12 volt socket, and this supports 10 amps. Right here we have our USB outputs. This is a 60 watt power delivery port. You have two 2.4 amp USB-A ports and then 2 quick charge USB-A ports. You can also turn the USB ports off by pushing this button. Right here we have our AC inverter. This is a 500 watt pure sine wave inverter that has 2 inputs, one that's not grounded, one that's grounded, and you can turn that on and off with this button here. So now let's go ahead and talk about one of my favorite features on this battery, and I hope every single portable power station company out there is watching and listening very carefully. No one wants a spotlight on the front of their power station. They want this. This is a diffused LED light and it has 3 modes. It has a low, medium, high mode. It has a weird SOS mode, who needs that, right? But this high mode will literally light up an entire room. Now it comes with this really nice hard case that has all the charging in it. I'll go ahead and explain this a little bit later in the video, but let's go ahead and dive into the actual testing. I just have to prove to you guys how good this thing is. Let's just go ahead and dive right into it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you guys want to see these results. Okay, let's go ahead and start with the DC capacity test. I have it plugged in using the 12 volt socket. This is a 10 amp limit. Now I'm discharging this at a 0.2 C discharge rate. So let's go ahead and use this discharger and let's see what we get over time. Okay guys, the battery just barely shut off from low discharge, and we have the total numbers here. So we were able to get 561 watt hours out of the DC discharge test, or 45 amp hours. If you remember my EB70 testing, which is also lithium iron phosphate, it's advertised at 716 watt hours. We only got 616 out of it. This is advertised at 614 and we got 561 out of it. Okay guys, time for the AC discharge test. We're going to be using the AC inverter. This is a 500 watt inverter. We're pulling a 0.2 C discharge rate, so 125 watts. Luckily I have this heat lamp for my chickens and we're going to be running it on this battery. Let's go ahead and let the test run and find out. Okay guys, we're coming to the end of the AC discharge test. We're sitting at 2% and the battery icon is flashing. We just got 450 watt hours out of the battery, just barely ticked over to 450, so I know that's pretty accurate. To sum up the results of the AC inverter discharge test, we got 75% efficiency using the inverter. So now where this unit shines so far is the DC discharging. I got really good efficiency there. So charging laptops, charging phones, running DC 12-volt fridges, things like that are going to be excellent for this battery. So I had to test if this was an actual pure sine wave inverter or not. So I had Jeff plug this into his oscilloscope and we saw the results. It indeed came out to be a pure sine wave inverter and it had a frequency of 60 Hertz. We also tested the voltage and it had an RMS voltage of 115 volts AC, which is nearly identical to the power that you get from your power company from your wall outlet. We also tested the voltage under a heavy load and the voltage did not sag at all. So these are all good signs that this inverter is a high quality inverter. Okay, you can see it's at 0% and it needs to be charged. But look at this, this is so awesome. This thing came with this hard case that has all the charging equipment in it. No flimsy bag, the AC adapter is in here. You can charge it off of DC power in your vehicle. You can charge it off of DC power using a solar panel, or you can use the 100-watt included AC charger. Now, this is a max charge rate of 100 watts, and it has this 5.5 barrel input charger here, 12 to 24 volts. Let's go ahead and start charging using the AC adapter and see what we can get as we plug it in. Okay guys, we plugged in the wall adapter into the charging port and we're getting 82 watts into the unit, and it's estimating 7.2 hours until it's completely full. Let's go ahead and test this using the other charging methods, this DC cable and some solar panels. Okay, so I wanted to test using this DC socket cable to charge this. So this is simulating charging in your car or off a different battery. This is my DIY lithium iron phosphate battery. Let's go ahead and turn it on and see what we get on this battery. Okay, so after letting it set for a couple seconds here, we're getting 88 watts input on this battery from my other battery. You could also do the same thing with your vehicle driving down the road, plug it into your 12-volt socket in your vehicle, as long as it supports 10 amps, and you should be able to charge this just fine. Let's go ahead and talk about solar charging this battery. The first option is using the stock cable that comes with the battery, which has MC4 connectors. So if your panel already has MC4 connectors, this will work perfect for you. You just plug it in and it'll charge. A lot of the portable solar panels don't have MC4 connectors, so they have adapters that come with them. At least most of them do. This Rockpal's RP082 is a 100-watt folding solar panel, and it comes with all the required adapters for this battery. Let's go ahead and take this panel outside and see what type of results we get on this battery. Now, it's super simple to charge this portable battery using a solar panel. You just lay your solar panel out in the sun and you put the wire on the input jack on the device. So as you look at the screen, it'll tell you the amount of wattage that we're getting. See, we're getting 75 watts from the solar panel right now. Now, I do have a bit of wildfire smoke in my area, so I'm not going to get a full 90 to 95 watts out of this 100-watt solar panel, but 75 watts from the sun is still a great number. You can see it's about 1.5 hours until it's going to be full. Just remember, whenever you're charging your battery, you want to make sure your battery's in the shade, and your solar panel will tend to get really hot. These are closed back solar panels, so as they heat up, they get less efficient. If you put a 2x4 under the back of them, it kind of helps keep them a little bit cooler. Prop up the solar panel, make sure you keep the battery in the shade. So this power station has a 500-watt pure sine wave inverter. Let's go ahead and see if we can get the full 500 watts out. I have my IceCode JP30 fridge running through the AC power. It's pulling 33 watts. I'm going to go ahead and plug in this bottle warmer. This pulls around 460 watts. Let's see how close we can get this to 500 and see if it has the advertised power output. Okay, so both these appliances are pulling 483 watts. Let's see if we can put the fridge on max mode and see if we can get over the 500 watt level. 504. Okay, well, I'm pretty impressed. It's pulling over 500 watts, and I ran it for over 5 minutes. It does have a fan that turned on, an internal fan to cool this down, but very impressed. My EB70 wouldn't go over the advertised limit, so this right here, it goes over the advertised limit, and it's held it for a long time. Now, this is a smaller battery, so you can't run a big load like this for a long period of time, but overall, pretty happy with the AC inverter on this. Not the best efficiency on the output test, but definitely provides the advertised amount that's on the box. Okay, so a ton of my viewers run 12-volt compressor fridges off portable batteries. So if I'm going to make a recommendation to my viewers about purchasing this power station, it better run a 12-volt compressor fridge extremely well. So I've been testing this portable battery running my IceCo VL45 12-volt compressor fridge. The test has been running for about 32 hours and I'm still at 53% capacity. It's about 75 degrees in my basement, so if you had a higher temperature, you would get less runtime, but by plugging a solar panel in here, you definitely can extend the life of the battery. Now there's two things you always want to be aware of when you're purchasing one of these batteries. The first thing is if it has a regulated output, because as the voltage drops, sometimes a 12-volt compressor fridge compressor won't start up if the voltage is too low. So we don't have that issue with this battery. The other thing that I've seen is some batteries have some sort of eco mode where they shut off the DC output if it doesn't sense any power. So as a fridge cycles on and off, sometimes you can have a pretty big gap between where the compressor is not running, and some of these batteries will turn off the 12-volt socket so that it saves power. We don't want that setting for a fridge, so this battery is fine. We don't have any weird eco modes that shut that output off. Now let me give you an example of a power station that has a few little quirks that make it really difficult to run a 12-volt compressor fridge. Now this battery has a non-regulated output and it's lithium ion technology. So the battery voltage drops below 11 volts. And so you can actually run into a low power error where the output will not power or turn the compressor on your fridge. The other little quirk with this one is the DC output turns off the USB ports if it doesn't sense anything above 5 watts. So overall, this is a great battery. It just doesn't work perfect with 12-volt compressor fridges, and it has little quirks of turning off the USB ports if you have a really small load on there. So that's why it's super important to do your homework whenever you're looking to purchase any of these portable batteries. Now, this one here, I feel like it's priced right for what it is. You get excellent storage capacity, there are no issues, and it works really well. During all my testing, I've been very happy with this portable power station. Now, if you're looking for something that's maybe a little bit more reliable, has a bigger brand name with customer support, you'll probably want to get the Blue Yeti EB70. It also has lithium iron phosphate technology. It has 2,500 cycle lives, and you actually charge at 200 watts using that battery versus just 100 watts on this one. Now I have a full review on the EB70, so check that video out if you haven't seen it. Then you can compare the two and make a good decision on which one that you'd want to purchase. Okay guys, what did you guys think of all that testing? Now I was definitely blown away by the results with this because I wasn't going to go into this expecting much. Now once again, this is not a sponsored video. I bought this with my own money. The company didn't reach out and ask for a review and to refund my money or anything like that. I saw this on Amazon, I saw the specs, and I was kind of like, wow, I gotta check that out. So I bought it, and well, we tested it and really everything checked out. There wasn't anything wrong with this at all. The DC capacity test, the AC capacity test, the outputs, the solar charging, everything works. Now, the only complaint that I may have is definitely the efficiency of the AC inverter. It definitely checked out, everything worked, but 73% efficiency, it's definitely not the best. I'd love to see that be a little bit higher. And the other thing is just the solar input. 100 watts, Now if this had 150 watts or 200 watts charging, this thing would be perfect. Now for the price, I can't complain because it comes in so cheap. Now, after all this testing, we couldn't find anything wrong with it. I'm definitely going to recommend this as my new budget portable power station to all my viewers. I just don't see any reason going with a cheaper, smaller unit at the same price as this one. Now, you gotta remember this has lithium iron phosphate technology, it has 2,500 cycles. Now think about this, your cell phone has lithium ion or lithium polymer chemistry in it. Now the cycles with those phones are way less than you get with lithium iron phosphate batteries. So just say you had the chance to buy a cell phone with lithium iron phosphate battery in it. Would you go with the older technology and get fewer life cycles, or would you go with the new technology that has 4 times the life cycles? I mean, it's no brainer to go with lithium iron phosphate. It's what the future is, right? Blue Yeti is coming out with these giant units. EcoFlow is coming out with these giant units. Someday Jackery will come out with a lithium iron phosphate battery. Someday, I'm really hoping. Anyway guys, thanks so much for watching the video. I love to do this content and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Also, if you guys want to see a future video, I will be doing a teardown video on this battery. So subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for future content. I will be putting out that video soon. Thanks for watching guys. I'm gonna have to end it here. We'll see you guys in the next one.